Hello, residents of Meepletown. Anytime a Stefan Feld game comes out, we're going to be very interested in it, and especially if it's a Kenner Spiel des Jahres nomination. So, we're going to get to the table and look at Carpe Diem today.
All right, so this is what Carpe Diem looks like whenever it's set up and ready to roll. The moves are very, very simple in this game, but there's some thoughtfulness to it, which is like a lot of other Felds. So on my move, all I'm going to do is take my meeple here and slide him or her over to this one of these sections on the star, if you can see that well. So I can go here or I can go here, and then I'm going to take a tile and I'm going to put it onto my board. There's some different things about the way we place the tiles and all that, but I say let's just play.
We're just going to jump into it.
And we'll teach that as we go along.
That's right.
So, and the first thing I am going to do is I'm going to slide my meeple over here. You know what? I'm just going to start off with a fountain in this game, I think. Actually, I could do a water. Now let me do this. Let me grab this. So I'm going to grab this pond here, and you do have to start on the starting tile. And the one cool thing about this is all the boards are actually different. These little things here are called banderolls. They're different on every board. The starting place is different. We also change the frame every game, which is different. So I like that. A lot of variation in the setup. I'm placing the pond here because I'm going to get 5 points at the end of the game if I have another pond completed, the same pond completed along this imaginary or whatever line that this is pointing towards. So that will be my first turn.
All right, fantastic. I'm going to slide over here and take this spot right here, which will... Oh, sorry, wrong space. Slide over here and take this tile.
That's what he does.
And I'm going to place it right here. Now, in my mind, I'm thinking if I can complete a green building, I'll be able to take one of these tiles. And so I've got it set up here, but also on the side here, it shows the victory points that I'll get 4 victory points if I have a completed building of this type that intersects, where this line intersects. I'll get 4 points at the end of the game. So I'm kind of thinking that in my mind as well.
Yes. That's probably a good thought. I'm going to...
Wow. We'll see.
Sometimes, I don't know. All right, I think I'm going to slide down here, because you can go into the same spot as somebody else. And I'm going to take... let's see. I'm going to take this fella right here. This craftsman building, and we're going to have to place this attached adjacent to the first tile that we laid here, and the sides have to all match up. So I obviously could not do something weird like that and have half of a building going into a pond. Alright, so I'm going to go like so. Now, in a 2-player game, you're going to remove the tiles when there's only 2 tiles left. So there's some thinkiness there, because there was another tile I actually wanted, and I thought, okay, if I take this, then I won't have a chance to get one of the other ones. So.
Alright, so I'm going to slide up here. There's not anything particular that I really want from this space. However, if I kind of look over here, I see several of these scoring markers want you to have chickens to turn in. And here is one of the chicken area tile things. So I thought if I take this, maybe I'll get a chance to get some chickens and maybe kind of build some of that. So it has to be adjacent to this tile. I'll just place it right there, and that'll be my turn.
Alrighty, so I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to slide over here. I'm going to grab this tile with a villa and this little gold building right here. I'm going to put the gold building to where it will, when I cross this, I'm going to put another one there. I'm going to score. And then I place this tile where there's a banderole, which means I'm going to go up here on the banderole track. At the end of the round, whoever is the highest on this track here is actually going to be able to place their scoring marker first. So we're going to score each of the 4 rounds that we play.
All right, so then I'm going to slide down here. And
take those off, sorry.
Now I have some decisions to make, because I would like to be able to build up chickens, and I'll talk about how that works. But I also think, well, I could take this tile, which will, when I complete it, allow me to take a tile from down here, which is probably the more useful thing to do right now. Now I have an option to take any of these that I want and place it immediately onto my board. And the thing that would be really helpful for me right now probably is going to be to take a gold. So I will take this market tile, place it right here, and that will cover up one of those banderole spots so I can move up on there. And then I will take a gold, which is a wild resource that will help me potentially in the end of the round scoring, although it looks like I probably won't get very many points in the end of the round.
I'm going to just follow you. I think I'm just following you around there. Is it a little creepy? All right. And I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, I'm going to complete a craftsman building. And all the buildings, when you either place it, if it's a singular building, or when you complete a building or a pond or one of these areas, you're going to get something, which we've been doing. The craftsman, like Dean mentioned, I'm going to get to pick something from the bottom. This row is not going to fill for the rest of the game, so it just is what it is. And I think I'm going to, I don't know if that is the move for me or not. You know what? I'm going to do this so I can complete this, which will score me 4 points at the end of the game because this golden line intersects this golden building, and this gives me 2 wild resources, 2 gold, which I'm going to hopefully use to fulfill some of these.
All right, I'm just going to slide right over to this spot over here. And again, I've got some choices to make on what to do. There's always lots of choices of which tile and then where you want to place it. That's going to give you the most benefit. So I'm just going to take this, I believe it's a bakery.
It is.
I'll take that and put it over here. And that's going to give me a bread, 1 single bread token that with just one you can spend that on later turns to put your meeple wherever you want to instead of having to follow the lines. Or if you have 3, it'll allow you to complete a card for free.
Which is huge, actually. Very good. All right, so let's see here. Now, I can follow Dean, but also I can slide. If I slide to a place that doesn't have it, then I do the same rules about sliding to another place, then sliding to another place. So you can, as these begin to empty out, there's a lot of different movements that you can make in this game. I am going to follow Dean again so that I can complete my pond, is what I'm thinking. Because this is going to score me 5 points again at the end of the game. Whenever you complete a pond or a chicken field, I don't know which.
Chicken field.
Yeah, whatever. Or a garden, you're going to get 1 good less than the amount of tiles. So because there's 2 tiles here, I'll get 1, I think they look like dolphins, but they're fish. 1 dolphin fish into my supply.
All right, and we're getting kind of low on the tiles that are out on the board, and we're also thinking about these scoring tiles over here that we'll explain in a little bit, but this is kind of driving our the reason why we're taking our actions for this first round. So I'm going to, let's see, I would really like to be able to get a fountain, and that will allow me to complete this card right here. However, I kind of would like some of the tiles from these other locations here. So what I would rather do is be able to get up here because I don't care as much about that going away. So I'm just going to bounce around a little bit. I think I can kind of bounce up to there. I can, and I will take this fountain. Oh,
Arg.
And place it right here. That's going to let me move up 1 on the banderole because I laid it in that location. And by doing the fountain, that will let me take 2 endgame scoring cards, and I'll choose one of them.
That was not what I wanted him to do because I wanted to go here and get the villa tile so that I could have
very
those
sorry
three chimneys in my place, and now I can't. Yeah, you're very sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. I'm gonna grab this guy. I'm gonna put it here so that I can. Yes, so that I can go up another on the banderole track. Maybe I can pick first.
All right, so what I'm going to do...
I get a coin. Sorry.
I'm going to slide right down into this spot as well because mostly I want to try to set myself up for next round. I can already tell I'm going to lose points in this on one of the cards that are out here. And so in my mind, I think, let me just try to set myself up for a later round. And then potentially help myself out in this round. So I'll place this chicken tile here that will later on let me get chicken tiles, but I did get to move up on the banderole track. There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna slide up here, and I'm gonna look at your board real quick. Perfect. I'm gonna take this fountain so that I can slide up on the banderole track and have the lead there. And then I'll do the same thing Dean did. I'm going to choose 2 of these. And I know you can see them, but we're going to be finished here in just a second. So if I already have one of these little pawns completed, so I could do that, or I could go for bakeries, which these are a little easier to get because I don't have to, I can just grab one tile. Interesting. I think I'm going to take this since I already have 2 points and play it a little conservatively. And I'll just throw this off here. Okay.
All right. The good thing about getting those fountain tiles at the beginning of the game is that it kind of gives you some sort of a strategy beyond just the scoring cards out here. So I'm going to slide up here. Obviously, it's the only spot left. And I'll take this. That's going to help me out in later rounds. And I'm just going to place it right here, because hopefully with that gray building, the banderole building, I'll be able to get 4 victory points if I can finish that up right there. So again, just trying to set myself up since I'll be losing. I won't be gaining many points
since
this
you're
round.
a loser?
Since I'm a loser. All right, so now we're going to place our disc on there.
To be honest, I'm the loser in this game. He beats me every time, so I'm definitely that. All right, so I actually get to go first because I'm further on the banderole track. So I'm going to take my disc and I'm going to place it in between 2 cards, so I can't just choose one scoring card. I've got to put it in between. And then that will also block people out for the rest of the game. They stay there for the entire game. I have these wild resources, meaning I can fulfill any of these. So I have 3, so I can fulfill any of these with one of those. I really wanted the 3rd chimney. I've only got 2, so that I could have put it there and then use 2 wild resources to get 4 points and complete that. However, I can't do that. So I, too, am going to lose some victory points. So my thoughts are, part of my thoughts are, should I block something that I think Dean would like to have later on? But I won't be that mean. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to pay my fish and then 2 wild resources to complete the first, this left one, so that's 5 victory points for me. Now, I'm not able to complete this because I only have 1 wild and I don't have any of the leafs, so I'm actually going to lose. You lose 4 victory points for every one that you do not complete, so I will get a total of 1, since I gained 5 but lost 4.
All right, and I've got kind of the same mindset. So for me, I have this completed here. I don't have any of the chimney tiles out on my board, and it looks like I might not be going that direction quickly, so I'm just going to place my person there, my little disc there, and I will have completed this just 1 time, so that's 5 points. But again, I can't complete this one, and so I'm going to lose 4. I will as well just get 1 victory point there. Now that might seem, wow, you did all that work and you only gained 1, or you might even lose victory points there. The first round is always the hardest to complete some of that. And so you could potentially fulfill 2 cards, but it seems more often than not you might just fulfill 1.
For sure.
So, all right, let's get into our final thoughts, or not our final thoughts, we'll get into our review of the game. That just gives you a taste of the first round. But John, what do you think about the art and components?
Art and components, to be perfectly frank, are not really good in this game. They're doing a reprint of the game because there's several issues with it. I will say the buildings and stuff are okay. One of the things that I don't love about the buildings, though, is if you look here, look at this. Look how golden that looks, and look how it's a different color a little bit. And there's a building that's brown, which is this building. You mind if I just take that right off your board?
Sure, go for it.
And the colors are actually fairly similar, so you could get confused about which ones are there. I don't generally get confused. Whoops, I was going to put that back in the wrong place. But I could easily see, especially if someone was colorblind, how easily they could get confused on some of the buildings here. Also, the big problem that I think a lot of people talk about with this game is the backs of these tiles. I'm going to take a picture and zoom in so you can see this. But you have to separate the dark from the light, and as you can tell, it is difficult. And Dean, I always have to try to match up next to it, and Dean and I have already messed up, putting him in the wrong piles
most of the
because
time.
Of that.
It seems like.
Yeah, it is. I mean, so anyway, so those are some issues. Overall though, the art to me is just mediocre as well. It's okay. It's functional.
Okay. I don't think it's great. I don't think the art is great anyway. Again, you're trying to go with function, though. I guess maybe there could have been a better way to make some of those buildings look better. I don't know, but I think that part's functional. I think that the board the aesthetics of the board, the way the cards are set up, and these tokens. I think all that's fine. It's just those complaints that John had. I totally agree.
Exactly. These things are awesome. I like these little guys.
Yeah, those are cool. Cool little animeeples.
Yep.
And leaf meeples. All right, but what about the gameplay? I think the gameplay is like a lot of Stefan Feld games. You take simple choices. You're just moving to one space, and you only have 2 options every turn of which space you're going to go to, and then from those you're going to choose what tile you're going to take. So as far as that goes, the actions are simple, but the thinkiness of, how can I most efficiently get a lot of points? Because it's a point salad game. You can get points from these end round scoring. You can get points from the fountain card. You can get points from different areas from your board. You just have to try to be the most efficient in how you're taking your actions, and that's really where the thinkiness, and this is very much a puzzly game. You're trying to figure out the puzzle of how to lay your board out and get points.
Yeah, for sure, and you even score victory points at the end for how far you are on this banderole track.
Right.
So,
that's right.
Dean's exactly right, though, and that's what I generally like about Feld games, is like, everyone's going to score points, but how can I score the most points?
Right.
Which is fun, and that's also fun for me when I'm introducing it to other players, because then people don't feel so bad, sometimes because they're scoring points, they're doing well. But yeah, I thought overall as I played this game, I was really excited about this because Foreign to Janum rocked, and to me, I loved Foreign to Janum. And because this was nominated for the Kenner Spiel, I was super excited about it. But I'll say this, overall, I thought it was a good game, but it didn't blow my mind. I like the decisions that Dean said, stuff I won't go back over that. Those are all really solid. But overall, I wasn't like, yeah.
Yeah. The issue is, with Feld games, when they come out, they're automatically going to be compared to past Feld games. Whether that's good, bad, or ugly, that's really tends to be the reality of Feld games. For me, I quite enjoy this one, though. It's not my favorite of the Felds, but when I compare it to a lot of other games, I like the way that the actions kind of play out. I enjoy the tile placement, the puzzliness of it. So for me, my final rating that I'm going to give this game is actually, I'm going to give this one an 8. I quite enjoy this one. The more I play it, the more I enjoy how that puzzle plays out. So,
I will admit that that's true for me too. Like, I remember the first time I played this, I was like pretty meh on it, but the more I've played it subsequently, I do enjoy it more. I've wrestled between a 7 and a 7.5. I'm going to give a very solid 7 on this game. 7 out of 10. I think it's a good game. I like some of those decisions that you're making as the game progresses. I like, as any other Felds, how they're simple, but yet you can really be thinky if you're trying to score the most points. But overall, this one didn't grab me, but 7 is still a really good score.
Sure.
It's like when the Beatles come out with an album that's not as good as their other ones. It's not that it's a bad album. It's just, as Dean mentioned, you're comparing it to, maybe the best board game designer of our time. Depending on who you ask. So I think it's a solid game that he's made, but doesn't blow my mind.
Excellent. All right, so that is it for Carpe Diem. I gave it an 8. John gave it a 7. John, tell people how they can get in touch with us.
Sure thing. If you are enjoying our videos, please subscribe to our channel, and you can even click that little bell for notifications. That will let you know whenever we come out with new videos. We are on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. On all those, we're at Meepletown Games, and we are Board Game Geek Guild 3407.
That's it. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for coming down to Meepletown.
Thanks for joining us, and be sure to follow us on Twitter at Meepletown Games, and connect with us on the Meepletown Guild, Guild number 3407, at BoardGameGeek.com, and also subscribe to our podcast and YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for coming down to Meepletown.